America's election headquarters.
Wealth is more than just stocks and bonds. It's the art of making money. Everyone doing it knows you have to see the opportunity. You have to take the chance. You have to have the passion. I live and breathe this stuff. Real estate, startup strategy, tech, art, wine. I know where the action is. I'll get you access to the minds making it happen. You have to play to win, so get in the game. Watch Risk and Reward with me, Deirdre Bolton, weekdays, only on Fox Business Network. The power to prosper.
Howdy, folks. For over 4 decades, we at Dairy Queen have been proud to serve our customers with the finest and freshest cooked-to-order quick-service comfort foods in the world. For instance, our new Philly steak and cheese sandwiches with grilled peppers and onions on an artisan focaccia bread bun. So steaming hot and yummy you won't believe it. We also added seasoned potato skins filled with queso cheese and bacon. Wow, they're tasty. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Ocala presents the 50th annual Ocala Arts Festival, and this year's event hosts 170 artists from around the country. Fine Arts for Ocala has brought art to our community with the Ocala Arts Festival for 50 years, and this year is sure to please. The festival includes free admission, free parking, free children's art projects, and free live entertainment. But it's only one weekend, so make plans now to attend the Fine Arts for Ocala's 50th anniversary, October 22nd and 23rd. For more info, visit fafo.org.
A young woman contemplating having an abortion is told by society that whether she has her baby or not, it is her choice. The House of One in Faith in Ocala wants to give that young woman a place to live in comfort during her trying time, to help her know that God's love is abundant and that He is not ashamed of her in any way. The House of One in Faith is free and confidential. For more information, call 352-687-8895.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Coastal flood advisories remain in effect into the evening at the beaches. Watch for rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Tuesday will start with a morning shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84 to 88. And Tuesday night will be partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 60s, inland 72 along the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
Come on, come on, come on.
All right, 25 minutes before 9 o'clock, it's time for News Bites. This is the portion of AM Ocala Live during which Robin and I will read the news from the news agencies that we subscribe to here at The Source, WOCA. We will, of course, identify those news sources so you can go onto the internet and read the whole story for yourself if you're interested. Our job is to simply read the first few paragraphs, enough to give you the gist of the story so that you get the story. We do not interpret or give our opinion or paraphrase or in any way change the story, with the exception of sometimes saying today if it says Tuesday, for example, or tomorrow if it says Wednesday. Other than that, we do read it verbatim. If not, we will identify the exceptions to that. We don't paraphrase, and of course, we do not attempt to be entertaining during this 25 minutes. The segment is a great way for you to catch up on the news. We're able to get between 25 and 30 stories in on a normal day, and that way you can get on with your own life and live your own news. The first story is from ABC News, calling the state's current law illogical and bizarre. A federal judge has ordered the state of Florida to give thousands of voters a chance to make sure their vote-by-mail ballots are counted. Florida officials yesterday said they would not challenge the decision by U.S. District Judge Mark Walker, which adds a new duty for the state's 67 elected elections supervisors as they enter the final stretch before a heavily contested presidential election. Walker ruled that county election offices should notify voters if their signature on a vote-by-mail ballot and their voter registration forms don't match. Voters would then be given a chance to fix the problem by 5 p.m. the day before the election. The Florida Democratic Party sued the state, saying that voters could be disenfranchised because elections officials can discard the ballot if the signature doesn't match the one already on file. Voters are not told about the problem until after the election is over, but state law requires election officials to notify a voter ahead of time if their mail ballot does not have a signature on it. Walker, who was first appointed to the federal bench in 2012 by President Barack Obama, said that discrepancy makes the law unconstitutional.
A Florida man was sentenced to 20 years in prison yesterday for shooting at George Zimmerman, who had shot and killed an unarmed black teenager named Trayvon Martin in 2012 in a case that garnered national attention. Matthew Apperson, age 37, was convicted by a jury last month of second-degree attempted murder for firing at Zimmerman, age 33, during a roadside confrontation in Lake Mary, Florida in May of 2015. A Sanford, Florida jury had acquitted Zimmerman, a former neighborhood watchman, of murder in the fatal shooting of the 17-year-old Martin. The case sparked the Black Lives Matter activist movement that campaigns against violence towards black people, reported by Reuters.
From the Associated Press, the United States Air Force is spending nearly $1 billion to build a radar installation that will help keep astronauts and satellites safe by tracking pieces of space junk as small as a baseball. That is, if global warming doesn't get in the way. The space fence is being constructed on a tiny atoll in the Marshall Islands that scientists say could be regularly swamped by rising seas within a couple of decades as a result of climate change. The salt water could play havoc with the equipment, according to the scientists. And the Associated Press found that neither the military nor its contractor, Lockheed Martin, gave serious consideration to that threat when designing the installation and choosing a site, despite warnings from the island nation's environmental agency.
A serious threat against the electoral system may be Russian hackers. 2 years ago, top Russian General Valery Gerasimov, who has President Vladimir Putin's ear, called for a new kind of warfare. In a military journal, Gerasimov wrote of using covert and propaganda tactics to turn a perfectly thriving state into a victim of foreign intervention, causing it to sink into a web of chaos. Adam Myers, the head of intelligence for the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike, said Gerasimov's doctrine is behind the recent hacks of election databases in the Democratic National Committee. His quote, "Imagine if on election night reports come out that cause people to think that the results of the election are questionable," unquote, reported by CBS.
And from the Reuters news agency, Melania Trump defended her husband against allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior in an interview to be aired on CNN, and said Access Hollywood host Billy Bush egged Donald Trump on in an audio recording from 2005 that spurred accusers to come forward. "I said to my husband that, the language was inappropriate. It's not acceptable," Melania Trump told CNN's Anderson Cooper in a preview of the interview set to air last night on Anderson Cooper 360, "and I was surprised because that is not the man I know," unquote. She said she suspects Donald Trump did not even know the microphone was on and recording when he was making what she called boy talk with Bush. He was led on like egged on from the host to say dirty and bad stuff, she said. Melania Trump said she has not heard her husband use such language before, and that's why she was surprised by the recording.
San Francisco 49er Colin Kaepernick was lustily booed by many Buffalo fans on Sunday as he continued his national anthem protest before turning in an inauspicious performance against the Bills. Kaepernick arrived at New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York, paying homage to Muhammad Ali by wearing a T-shirt with the picture of the boxing legend and leading civil rights campaigner who died in June. As he has done all season, the quarterback kneeled during the United States national anthem along with two teammates as a police officer stood immediately behind the trio, reported by The Telegraph.
From Fox News, Michael Isikoff, the legendary investigative reporter who uncovered the Monica Lewinsky scandal only to have it spiked by Newsweek, is calling on NBC to release the full tape of its 1999 interview with alleged Bill Clinton rape victim Juanita Broaddrick. Isikoff said Thursday during an online discussion at Sidewire.com that NBC is in possession of a tape of Juanita Broaddrick being interviewed by former NBC senior investigative correspondent Lisa Myers in the late 1990s and should release it in full before the election, now that the network is culling their archives. The leaked tape of Donald Trump making lewd comments about women in 2005, which has become the most explosive development in the 2016 election, also came from the NBC archives.
A 7-year-old Australian boy who spent 2 years raising $2,285 by selling lemonade shed tears when he finally achieved his ultimate goal, owning a pony. Juliana Kent posted a video to Facebook showing her son Sebastian shedding tears of joy at his first meeting with Tomboy, a white pony he purchased after spending 2 years selling lemonade and saving his birthday, tooth fairy, and Christmas money. "What do you think?" the mother asks in the video. "It's awesome," Sebastian replies through his tears. The boy's parents said Sebastian's lemonade became very popular among locals to the point where he started setting up stands at local events and social gatherings. Juliana Kent is quoted as saying his lemonade became a hit and he had to progress to bottling it so he could produce enough in advance the day before. He had a lot of lemons donated too. Sometimes he was paid 20 cents. Other times family would donate to him $20 or even $100 to put towards his pony savings. Sebastian Kent said he now has need of further funds to purchase a saddle and pay for Tomboy's veterinary care. "I'll get back to making lemonade to pay for that," Sebastian said, reported by UPI.
And from the Reuters news agency, Target's clown masks are being pulled from shelves nationwide, the retailer announced Sunday, out of sensitivity for reported claims of violence and threats on social media and other crimes connected with people dressed as clowns. Target spokesman Joshua Thomas told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune the company also was in the process of pulling the masks from its online site as well. A 15-year-old Bloomington, Minnesota girl was arrested last week after allegedly posting a croaky clown threat on Facebook targeting residents there, as well as Bloomington, Richfield, Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park, St. Paul, Rochester, Apple Valley, and Plymouth, according to the Star-Tribune. KARE-TV reported a 13-year-old boy was arrested by Bloomington police last week after he allegedly made a threat of violence at Valley View Middle School, along with a photo of a clown on social media, like similar other incidents on social media. Looks like we're up against the break. Let's take that break, and we'll continue with more news bites on the other side of the break. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Coastal flood advisories remain in effect into the evening at the beaches. Watch for rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Tuesday will start with a morning shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84 to 88. And Tuesday night will be partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 60s, inland 72 along the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952. Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
All right, 12 minutes before 9 o'clock, let's return to News Bites. The next story is from the Star Banner. The Star Banner is reporting that the Ocala Police Department has arrested a 33-year-old man in connection with the kidnapping and rape of a victim taken from West Marion Community Hospital yesterday. The report states that Robert Lee Terrell Hicks was arrested after a search by detectives. According to the report, Hicks kidnapped the woman from the hospital, took her to a wooded area, robbed, beat, and raped her, and then drove away in a stolen 1996 Jeep Cherokee. The report was filed at 2 a.m. Hicks was charged with sexual battery, kidnapping, and robbery. He is being held at the Marion County Jail with no bond on the first charge and a total of $35,000 bond on the other two.
There have been reports of duck napping at Chris Taylor Memorial Park in Anderson, South Carolina. Marie Shiflett was at the park with her young children when she witnessed a case of duck napping. Turns out the duck napper is a retired veterinarian who was treating sick ducks at his home. Shiflett reported to police that at least 3 ducks were stolen from the pond. Upon investigation, detectives were able to track down Dr. Anthony Brighetti. Brighetti said, "My wife first noticed the sick ducks and asked me if I could do something for the sick ducks, so I am doing that. The sick ducks are suffering from botulism and aspergillosis caused by bacteria and stagnant water." Brighetti says the illness is easy to remedy, but the Park Service should view this as a red flag that the water in the pond needs to be circulated. Reported by Independent Mall WSPA TV.
And from the Reuters news agency, a retired U.S. Marine Corps general who last served as vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff pleaded guilty yesterday in a federal court to making false statements to the FBI during an investigation into leaks of classified information. 4-star General James Cartwright was questioned by the Federal Bureau of Investigations in 2012 over a book written by New York Times reporter David Sanger, which exposed a malicious computer software program known as Stuxnet, designed to disrupt Iran's nuclear program. Cartwright also in 2012 confirmed classified information about an unnamed country to Daniel Klaidman, then a reporter for Newsweek, according to his plea agreement.
Some NFL teams are going old school to find ways around a league policy that prohibits team social media accounts from sharing their own highlight videos. Sports Illustrated reported earlier this month that the NFL is strictly limiting its teams from sharing their own video or animated graphics of highlights. The teams are limited to reposting video from the NFL's accounts. Sports Illustrated is reporting a league memo said teams can be fined up to $100,000 for multiple infractions. With that in mind, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns got creative on their Twitter accounts on Sunday. The Browns used a video of toy football players to celebrate on Twitter after a touchdown. The Eagles used a similar video to show an interception complete with a homemade sign, reported by the Associated Press.
And from USA Today, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland will unveil its nominees for 2017 induction this morning at 8 a.m. I guess it happened already. Inductees will be determined by votes from more than 600 artists, historians, and music industry professionals. The public can join in the voting process with the top 5 vote getters forming one ballot, joining the rest of the submitted ballots. The inductees will be announced in December, and the induction ceremony will be next April. 2016's inductees included NWA, Steve Miller, and the group Chicago.
WikiLeaks says that founder Julian Assange's internet access has been cut by an unidentified state actor. Few other details were immediately available. Assange has been holed up at the Ecuadorian embassy in London for more than 4 years after skipping bail to avoid being extradited over sex crimes allegations. The cramped quarters haven't prevented the Australian Transparency activist from working, and WikiLeaks continues to deliver scoops, including revelations that have rattled Hillary Clinton's campaign for president as the United States election enters its final stretch, reported by ABC.
Also from ABC, federal investigators are set to decide the probable cause for a corporate jet crash that killed 9 people on approach to an Ohio airport last November. The National Transportation Safety Board is scheduled to meet today in Washington. The jet crashed less than 2 miles from the runway at Akron Fulton International Airport. Surveillance video from a nearby business shows the jet descending at a high rate of speed over trees before crashing into an apartment building and exploding. No one on the ground was injured. The 2 pilots on board were killed, along with 7 employees of a commercial real estate company based in Boca Raton, Florida.
A Pennsylvania man has been jailed for stealing a $4.49 bottle of Advil because it was the 12th time he's been convicted of shoplifting. A Lancaster County jury convicted 51-year-old David Springer in June of taking the Advil from a Giant store last year. He was charged with a felony because of numerous retail theft convictions. Police say Springer stole the pills by stashing the bottle in his pocket, even though he paid for other items that day. Judge Jeffrey Wright says Springer is a threat to society because he keeps stealing. Springer will serve 4 months in county prison, 5 months on house arrest, 14 months on parole, and 3 years on probation, reported by the Associated Press.
From Newsweek, scientists have for the first time shown that fully mature egg cells can be grown in the lab, raising hope for new infertility treatments. Until now, researchers have only been able to produce cells that resemble sperm or eggs, but which can rarely produce live offspring because of abnormal organization of their genetic material. But a team at Kyushu University in Japan has now turned stem cells from mice into mature eggs that can be fertilized and develop into healthy, fertile adults. This could lead a way for women who can't naturally produce working eggs to have new ones made from their own cells. Embryonic stem cells are living cells taken from an embryo that have the ability to develop into any other kind of cell. The researchers from Kyushu University team previously demonstrated that under the right conditions, these cells could be turned into primordial germ cells, immature embryonic versions of sperm and eggs, but because they are immature, these germ cells cannot produce any offspring.
Across 3 critical battleground states, the race for president remains tight. This is according to a new CNN ORC poll in Nevada, in North Carolina, and in Ohio. The polls find Hillary Clinton inches ahead of Donald Trump in North Carolina and Nevada, but continuing to trail the Republican Party's presidential nominee in one of the biggest electoral vote prizes on the map, Ohio, reported by CNN.
From the BBC, milk from Tasmanian devils could offer up a useful weapon against antibiotic-resistant superbugs, according to Australian researchers. The marsupial's milk contains important peptides that appear to be able to kill hard-to-treat infections, including MRSA, according to the Sydney University team. Experts believe devils evolved this cocktail to help their young grow stronger. The scientists are looking to make new treatments that mimic the peptides. They have scanned the devil's genetic code to find and recreate the infection-fighting compounds called cathelicidins. I'm probably saying that wrong. PhD student Emma Peel, who worked on the research, which is published in the Nature journal Scientific Reports, said they had found 6 important peptides.
NBC News has fired Today Show host Billy Bush, who was caught on tape in a vulgar conversation about women with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump before an Access Hollywood appearance. Bush was suspended at the morning show 2 days after contents of the 2005 tape were reported on October the 7th. NBC and Bush's representatives had been negotiating terms of his exit before yesterday's announcement, reported by CBS.
And from USA Today, talks resume today between Jim Beam and its workers in Kentucky as they continue picketing the world's largest bourbon producer. Their complaint is they say they are being overworked amid nationwide revival of interest in Kentucky bourbon. On Saturday, 252 employees of the world's largest bourbon producer ceased production at 2 of its facilities in Claremont and Boston, Kentucky, and went on strike following months of failed contract negotiations. Workers voiced their grievances to management at a listening session on Sunday, saying the company needs to hire more full-time workers to keep up with the rising demand.
Poverty is both a cause and consequence of marginalization and social exclusion, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said today, stressing that to fulfill the promise of the 2030 Agenda to leave no one behind, his quote, "We must address the humiliation and exclusion of people living in poverty." In his message to mark the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, the Secretary General said that implementation of the 2030 Agenda is reaching the end of its first year, and with its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, it embodies a universal vision for peace, prosperity, and dignity for all people on a healthy planet, reported by UN News.
And from USA Today, a special treat is coming tonight. The moon and one of the brightest stars in the sky will play hide and seek, so grab your telescope and get ready for a moon occultation, which sounds like something perfect for a spooky pre-Halloween night. Not as well known as an eclipse or a meteor shower, a lunar occultation occurs when the moon passes in front of a star. Tonight, the moon will occult Aldebaran, one of the brightest and most colorful stars in the sky. Folks in the southern and eastern United States will have the best view, and skies should be mostly clear and temperatures on the mild side, so conditions should be ideal for this mid-October spectacle.
Top officials in New Jersey government and the authority that runs the George Washington Bridge knew about or had a hand in what prosecutors contend was a false narrative that a lane realignment in 2013 was part of a traffic study rather than a scheme to punish a mayor. A defendant in the case testified yesterday. In his public comments about the scandal since his indictment nearly 18 months ago, former Port Authority of New York and New Jersey Executive Bill Baroni also contradicted the prosecution's star witness by offering a third version, reported by ABC.
Also from ABC, top officials in New Jersey and the authority that runs the George Washington Bridge knew about or had a hand in what prosecutors contend was a false narrative that a lane realignment in 2013 was part of a traffic study rather than a scheme to punish a mayor. A defendant in the case testified yesterday. In his first public comments about the scandal since his indictment nearly 18 months ago, former Port Authority of New York and New Jersey Executive Bill Baroni also contradicted the prosecution's star witness by offering a third version of the story. And that's all the time we have. How many stories today?
26.
We'll be right back.
All studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The government denying any wrongdoing involving Hillary Clinton's email controversy. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland
Recently released documents from the FBI show an agent believed the State Department tried to cut a deal to get the agency to change the classification of an email on the Secretary of State's private server. Spokesman John Kirby told Fox News there was no quid pro quo.
We looked into this, the FBI looked into this, and it's just not true.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's wife speaking out saying she believes her husband when he denies behaving inappropriately toward women, also telling Fox and Friends.
Mainstream media, they want to damage my family and my husband campaign.
A right to die bill will be considered by the D.C. Council. The legislation would allow patients with 6 months or less to live to request lethal medication from doctors. And Germany says it won't rule out sanctions against Russia over its actions in Syria. Fox News, we report, you decide.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs, opportunity, and economic growth for our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
An important message from Medicare.
I found a better deal on prescriptions.
I found a new plan with lower costs.
It's Medicare open enrollment. Have you compared plans yet? Who knows what you might find?
Check out your options at Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
You never know unless you go.
Medicare open enrollment, October 15th through December 7th. Brought to you by the Department of Health and Human Services.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day. Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hello, gorgeous. Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. Hello Gorgeous.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
That's only 2 weeks. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to talk about gardens and gardening. And I mentioned earlier, this was the one segment I missed last week. It was Tuesday morning. I was waking up in New York and oh man, I'm not going to see Carol Ann today.
See, but if you would have had your computer or something, you could have listened online.
You know, I tried, and I had my Kindle, and it
wasn't coming in real good.
Well, 'cause here's what it is. In the hotel, they have free Wi-Fi.
Right.
But for $9, you can get better Wi-Fi. So I said, how much better could it be?
Right.
Well, apparently the free one is really basic.
Okay.
Because I couldn't get anything to stream. And
right.
I could see text and things like that,
but to listen or to stream, yeah. That's how they're going to get you. You're not going to watch your own movies.
Yeah, right.
unless you pay an extra.
Yeah. So the $9 a day, I opted to not do. And
right. Oh, well.
But I could have gone downstairs, and I didn't kind of find this out until too late.
Oh, downstairs was better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, near the restaurant, or near they have a breakfast area, so I could have gone there.
Okay, right.
How are you?
Good.
I wanted to tell you one thing about New York
What's that?
City, though. You know, I really haven't. I've been there, but I really haven't spent a lot of time there since I was basically a kid.
Right.
I swear there are more greenery. There's more greenery, more gardens. I think they've really made a big effort in the past 30 years or whatever.
Yeah, probably at least the last 20.
To add gardens and flowers and plants. It's a much prettier city than it was when I was a kid.
Streetscapes.
Yes. There's a whole old what do you call it? Old railroad line, an elevated railroad.
Okay.
Being part of the subway system. That's a garden. It's like a linear garden.
That they've removed tracks in that area?
Actually, the tracks are still up there.
Okay.
But they're like embedded in the concrete so you don't trip on them.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's,
There's gardens up there, flowers up there.
And if you get on top of some of the hotels and other high rises, I'm sure you're finding them up on top there, too. Because I think there's dining.
Yes,
up above.
Robin
where, of course,
went to
you're going to have some of that.
So I just thought it was they're making a concerted effort. Is that what you want to say? To just add gardens all over the city.
Because we have learned that that the concrete and asphalt and everything like that just isn't really that healthy.
Well, even in Ocala, I mean, I know it's been a long time here too since we started doing the what are those trees called again?
The crepe myrtles. Yeah.
When they started doing that, the city really changed. And what was that city I went to with Robin? We did a gig. Lakeland, I think it was.
Could be.
Yeah, and they did the same thing.
Right.
Their tree of choice was a different one.
I think the tababuya.
Was that the one with the yellow flower?
Yeah, with the yellow flowers. Yellow tababuya. And a lot of areas, and I know it's been oh God, has it been that long ago? I'm going 5, 7, 9, 10 years ago, when a lot of the median projects came in, that down the DOT, Department of Transportation, and things like that, all getting involved in this kind of stuff of just where we're realizing that. I don't know if we had to finally come back to a realization that green growing things make a healthier community. That planting, not just having grassy medians where they purposefully allow them to overgrow over time, because that will slow a vehicle down.
Okay.
If they cross that median.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that.
That slant down into the centers to take stormwater off and down in through, that they can run stormwater grates and things like that unobtrusively, but also, you allow that grass to to grow. It will, if you hit real thick grass, it's going to slow your vehicle down.
Right.
But also when they start planting things, yes, that's going to slow your vehicle down too. But it also makes it prettier. The roadside wildflower programs that have gone up. If you drive down 301, in areas. You get down, I want to say, Leesburg, Tavares. I guess Tavares it was. I used to go all the way down to Mount Dora when I worked with Bear years ago. And some of the median strips in town were just some of the prettiest things you'd see.
And in a place known as an asphalt jungle, New York City, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but it just feels like maybe the people are a little friendlier because there's more greenery. I don't know.
I think greener open spaces. Green spaces where you can go, a picnic bench, a bench with a tree and some grass, and overlooking a walking trail can brings some comfort or some time to sit and meditate, whatever you want to do, clear your head. Take that phone call, but you're not paying attention to the noises behind you, maybe. Right. Trees. I mean, that's why we bring greenery inside, not just to filter air, but it does.
Well, look at that one little plant in this room, and that one little plant really makes a difference, especially with a pink flamingo sticking in it.
The pink flamingo there, it sure does. And that plant has grown wonderfully since it moved here to from the Cascades.
Yeah. Wow, because you saved it. Yeah. You and Robin.
It's many a
saved
years
it from
old.
my coffee waterings, which everybody swore up and down I was putting creamer in it, but I wasn't.
Oh, we had fungus gnats galore in there before, but it's happy and healthy now. But no, plants like you say, New York City, other major cities as well have if they've had an area where maybe buildings have been torn down due to decay and things like that. Sometimes instead of rebuilding them, they have put in parks or green areas. They've encouraged community gardens in some of these areas where you can, the folks from the neighborhood can come in and plant, whether or not it's vegetables or flowers. Sometimes it's just a flower garden going through there. There may be fruit trees and things like that, but it's anytime you can put some green in, it's a good thing.
And the phone lines are open, and we have a call. I'm so sorry I made somebody wait. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. The Highline Park in New York City was not a subway. It was the old New York Central freight line that went down to the meatpacking district in South Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
All along 10th Avenue, there used to be several meatpacking venues where cattle would come in from the west and be slaughtered and turned into hot dogs and hamburgers and whatnot right down there on 10th Avenue in New York City.
I didn't know that. I thought it was part of the subway line. Okay. Well, anyway,
it's still part of the train line.
It's real pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you, Jim.
Have a good day.
And this is not garden related, but you know what they have when you go there? They have a sign that says, "Do not give money to panhandlers."
Wow.
And then a Buddhist, I don't know what the priest is in the Buddhist religion, but a Buddhist whatever says a real monk would never do that or something like that. And so I'm thinking, what? Do they have guys up there pretending to be monks asking for money? I don't know.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, there was some kind of a statement from the city, do not give panhandlers money, and then another statement from an upper person in the Buddhist religion.
Says that someone from the Buddhist religion would not be asking for money.
Basically.
So if you find someone he's from the church. No, he's not.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, whatever. However.
It also says don't pick the flowers.
Don't pick the flowers. Same way with us when they have the wildflowers out there, and you'll see it in the springtime, summertime, trying to think of when I've seen most of it. When the gaillardia and things like that are blooming out, and sometimes the medians, you'll see the phlox. Wow. Oh, it looks like we got to go to break.
Yeah. I'm having too much of a good time. All right.
We'll be right back.
All right, we'll be right back. I see the phone light up, so we'll take calls, and we'll be right back. We've got weather, and I want to ask you how the storm did in your in your world of gardening. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Coastal flood advisories remain in effect into the evening at the beaches. Watch for rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Tuesday will start with a morning shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84 to 88. And Tuesday night will be partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 60s, inland 72 along the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson with Verizon. Do you have teenage drivers or elderly parents that drive? I have what you need. It's the new Hum device by Verizon. Plugs directly into your car and sends alerts to your cell phone on the location, speed, and driving habits. And you set boundary alerts. You can call and speak live with an ASC certified mechanic. And if you have an accident and can't respond, Hum will automatically send for help. All this and more for just $10 a month. And if you're in Marion County, I'll even deliver and set it up for free. Call me 352-528-0020.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Workplace romances are more likely to end in marriage than relationships that start in any other way, even meeting through friends. people trying to lose weight don't have to ban pasta from their diets. The real problem is that people use pasta as, quote, a vehicle for overly salty, fatty sauces. Ladies, if you're trying to make a good impression on a man, listen up. Don't worry about small flaws in your appearance. He won't notice.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure. Plus, they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
Hi, I'm Big Daddy Don Garlitz, asking you to support adoption by purchasing a Choose Life license plate from your county tag office. You know it costs a lot to give a child life. Many times a woman is forced to make a bad choice because of financial pressures. Help save the lives of the unborn children by aiding women whom choose life instead of abortion. Take a stand for life. Purchase your Choose Life license plate today. For more information, go to chooselife.org or call 352-624-2854.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
All right, that was my cue to come back. 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and Carol Ann Baldwin is in the studio. If you were listening earlier, she was not. That was actually a pre-recorded, or actually a rerun, I should say. And now Carol Ann is here live. So if you picked up on the fact that it was a recording and you were not calling in because of that, well, now you can. The number is 622-9622. Carol Ann is here and just got in from the dentist.
Got in from the dentist, yeah. I was en route.
So, and you're okay?
I'm good. I got my tooth. Everybody goes, all I want for Christmas is my tooth for teeth. No, I had a molar I needed. I've got all of them back in.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing what people can do. But dentists, doctors, what they can do. Yeah.
It was an implant, so it's cool. So it's one of those things.
So I have a plant related, and I already kind of gave you a hint about the connection. But when I was a kid, we used to buy corn nuts in the convenience store. They were way too hard. When I was younger, they were not too hard at all.
Right,
I could handle it. My teeth right now, I could never handle that kind of hardness. So. But what was the corn nut? Was that actually big, gigantic corn?
Yeah, it was corn that I think was fried.
But it was gigantic.
Well, I mean, just larger kernel. It was, because it wasn't a sweet corn. It was just the variety. So corn really
grows that big?
Yeah.
Gigantic kernels.
Some of them. Well, you figured too, and when it was processed, it did poof.
Oh, is that what it is?
Somewhat and crunch or however they were processed.
And you do have a phone call.
Great.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. I have a question about azaleas. When is a good time to be trimming them back? I know you talk about it, but I never take any notes.
Oh, okay. With azaleas, are they just the regular, I call them old-fashioned azaleas, like the formosas that bloom in spring?
No, they bloom twice a year.
Okay. What you want to do is you prune them after they're blooming. After they finish blooming, you prune them and fertilize at that time. If they were just like the regular formosas that bloom in springtime, that one big flush that they do, you prune them again after that, but then you can prune them as needed throughout until about Labor Day. If you try,
so prune any, it's not a good idea to prune them now.
No, because you'll cut bloom off from the next blooming period.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Thanks
so much.
Let them go. And if you say yours bloom twice a year, they'll probably be getting ready to bloom in spring. So if you did prune now, you would be pushing bloom, cutting bloom off.
Oh, I think she hung up.
She may have.
Okay.
But that's all right. And with anybody your azaleas, if you have a stray piece growing out, cut it. You don't have to leave that piece that reaches out across the sidewalk and whacks you every time you walk by, or it's brushing the window or anything. Cut those long stray ones off. You're not losing that much. And just as they're growing, if they're the big formosas and those are the ones that get up 6-8 feet high if allowed to grow to their full size. Every few years, cutting them way back will really revitalize those, get back to some nice fresh wood, and then you can let them grow up. If I used to do them about every third year, cut them, and that way you could kind of keep them at that 4 or 5 feet height. But if they're like up underneath a tree, where a lot of folks years ago planted them around trees, and they're just amazing. But they have a tendency to look thin after a while. But you can cut those way back, but do it after they're blooming, and no later than in the season than like Labor Day.
Do you know what I have in my yard? I had, and you might remember this, I had a red or like a salmon colored, I guess, rose, and then I had a yellow rose, and the red salmon colored one is like completely gone, and the yellow one was completely gone. But in the last few months,
it's popped back up from the root.
No roses yet, but these long lines of
cane of
like,
a rose.
Like eventually, there's going to be roses on them. So I'm not cutting them at all, because I hope they have a comeback.
Yeah, well, leave them alone until spring and
see what happens.
Yeah, get them pruned and maybe some
fertilizer. Do I need to put a stick and support them somehow?
You might, just so that you know where they're at.
Oh, okay. I won't forget where they are.
Oh, well.
They're pretty big. All right, let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey.
See, I in my backyard, as we all know, I got 40-some viburnum bushes.
Right.
I had them trimmed early in spring. I left them alone all summer up till now. Can I trim those back and shape them up real nice, or will I be looking for a problem with maybe new growth with the frost not that far away?
I'm reluctant to prune anything this time of year, only because cold weather, I mean, they're hardy shrubs, very hardy shrubs, but new growth is tender, and if we don't get cold, it's going to encourage it to put that new growth on. If we do get cool and it slows everything down, then you've got kind of icky looking shrubs until they do begin to grow. So again, same thing on those as the azaleas. If you've got a couple pieces that are just taller than everything else, go ahead and cut those back. But I would leave them. I would leave the rest of it until, say, mid-February.
Yeah. Back in '77, we had on this day we had a record low of 36 degrees, which is getting close to. You can have frost with that kind of a temperature.
Oh yeah,
so that's a little bit concerned,
Yeah, that's I wouldn't do any pruning. Not this time of year. Let nature do its thing. It is. We are into fall. We're a week away from November.
Hard to believe, right?
It is. And I think I heard at the end of the week, unless the weather has changed, that we could have some overnight lows in the 50s come this weekend, with highs only in the 70s. So fall is here. Everybody enjoy it. If you tell me you missed fall, it's your own darn fall. Pay attention, people. But no, don't prune them, don't fertilize them.
Saturday, 74 should be the high according to what the paper says, but it'll probably be in the upper 40s at night then if it gets that cool out during the day.
Well, they're saying mid 50s, is what I heard. Yeah. So not quite down to the 40s yet, which is still chilly enough. I left the house wearing a sweatshirt this morning.
We had kind of not a real wet summer here. I know everybody else had rain except us. And I was digging around a couple weeks ago, and I know the soil is a little bit moist, but it should be more. Now these bushes, these viburnum, they're about going on about 5 years old now. Should I water those even as mature as they are later on if we don't get any rain?
Only if we're not getting any rain. I would say because they are the age that they are, if we weren't getting rain in a month, then maybe I would turn it on, or say every 3 weeks or something like that. Because usually when we get a cold front, as we know, they usually are ushered in with some kind of rain event if it's getting real cold. We're not having that cold yet, but we're also not warm enough to get those the collision between the Gulf and the Atlantic air to cause thunderstorms in the afternoon. So the few little showers that are happening right now are very hit and miss. I mean, we're all enjoying this nice change of weather, but Yeah, if they're established shrubs, trees, things like that, they really don't need much supplemental water until we start getting dry. So if you haven't had any rain this month, you might go ahead and put some irrigation on just to keep them from stressing. It just keeps them a little healthier.
The last sufficient rain we had was a couple of weeks back when that hurricane went by, and we didn't even get even an inch of rain out of that. But
no.
That's pretty decent. But would you say an inch of rain would be sufficient for a developed plant like that, about 5 years old?
Oh, yeah, plenty.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, very good. I'll do a little watering. I got a feeling that we're right in the old dry season already, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, we may be entering it. Yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, thanks for calling.
And the phone lines are open. Carol Ann is here live today. If it's October 18th on your calendar, then this is the live one. The first 15 minutes were not.
Right.
As you were...
I was en route.
Where's your dentist?
Over by Churchill Square.
Oh, okay, so not too far.
Not too far.
Not too far. Don't you hate?
Close to the house and that kind of stuff, so...
So, using the dental story and the food comes from things. We were talking about how some foods are too hard when you're younger.
They're easy. Yeah. That some of the stuff, but the funniest thing is just, and it has, like you say, nothing to do with it. Years ago, my mom's deceased, has been for years, so it's all okay. But she had dentures. And she actually lost a tooth out of the denture biting a sandwich.
Oh, really?
So it doesn't, it's not necessarily, a tooth popped out of that. And I think when I fractured a tooth that ended up with a root canal. It had the root canal. I forget what happened to it. But I lost a part of a tooth that was getting ready to be capped eating a cracker.
Something not as hard as
you would think, and it was just one of those things to go, and of course it was a nice crisp, crunchy cracker, but you go, is that my tooth?
Yeah.
That doesn't taste like cracker.
Yeah. You feel something in your mouth.
That's foreign, that you know that you didn't put
had
there.
That experience,
but no.
So it's amazing. So now that you have a permanent tooth.
I have.
You showed it to me. It looks just like a real tooth.
It looks like they can match everything so wonderfully nowadays.
Wow,
it's cool.
It's amazing.
So.
All right, we're almost up to the first break, even though you just got here.
Right.
Actually, the second break. Second break. First since you got here, though.
Right.
I actually read that there might be snow in New England.
This coming weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You figure it is the end of October. It's not unheard of for those higher elevations or those more northern parts of the country to begin to get some snow. And we are having autumn. We are having fall. Enjoy it, people. Like I said, if you're going to complain that we've had some highs of 86 degrees, it's been gorgeous. Last night, and somebody laughed at me because I occasionally, especially this time of year, early spring, wear the long sleeve SPF shirts, and they go, "Oh, you make me so hot." I said, "But when I got out of work last night, it was cold."
SPF shirts.
SPF. They have an SPF. Mine are SPF 30s.
Okay.
Sun protection factor.
So are they warmer though? Is that?
No, but I mean they're a little warm because it's long sleeve, but they're also not so hot.
Okay.
And they dry quick. Should you get your sleeves wet?
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, they're great shirts. They're for like fishing and boating and things like that, or other outdoor water area.
Huh.
Good shirts.
Hard to believe that. Give it maybe 2 months, and you're going to be talking to people about
what to do next spring.
Those those what are they called? Those frost cloths.
Right, the frost blankets. Well, we'll probably be talking about those pretty soon.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a little break and be right back. Got a half hour left in Carol Ann's show. If you want to talk about gardening, you're invited to call. Plus, we've got some prizes here for the Corn Maze Festival in Bellevue. Right. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The government denying any wrongdoing involving Hillary Clinton's email controversy. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland explains.
Newly released documents from the FBI show an agent believed the State Department tried to cut a deal to get the agency to change the classification of an email on the Secretary of State's private server. Spokesman John Kirby told Fox News there was no quid pro quo.
We looked into this, the FBI looked into this, and it's just not true.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's wife speaking out, saying she believes her husband when he denies behaving inappropriately toward women, also telling Fox and Friends.
Mainstream media, they want to damage
my family and my husband campaign.
A right to die bill will be considered by the D.C. Council. The legislation would allow patients with 6 months or less to live to request lethal medication from doctors. And Germany says it won't rule out sanctions against Russia over its actions in Syria. Fox News, we report, you decide.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs, opportunity, and economic growth
for our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
An important message from Medicare.
I found a better deal on prescriptions.
I found a new plan with lower costs. It's Medicare Open Enrollment. Have you compared plans yet? Who knows what you might find?
Check out your options at Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
You never know unless you go.
Medicare Open Enrollment, October 15th through December 7th. Brought to you by the Department of Health and Human Services.
New windows will beautify your home and bring you immediate energy savings. Renewal by Andersen of Central Florida leads the way in outstanding quality and installation. Visit renewalbyandersen.com for a free in-home consultation with the pros. Right now, save $350 per window and $650 per patio door with the purchase of 4 or more windows or doors. No money down, 0% interest, and 0 payments for 12 months with approved credit. Visit renewalbyandersen.com. Renewalbyandersen.com. Offer ends October 31st. License CGC 1524135.
If you are hearing this message and wish to lose 50 pounds permanently, then write this phone number down, 352-633-0473. Dr. Juan Jordan's office in Lady Lake is offering the first 15 callers a free metabolism and body fat analysis with a comprehensive, in-depth fat-burning consultation. You have nothing to lose. Please call 352-633-0473.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
This is the beat of a normal heart. Now this is the beat of a heart of someone who just snorted or injected or smoked methamphetamine. Why? For a high. And this is what happens to that normal heartbeat. It's irregular, it's racing, it's why it's called speed, and it can do bizarre things to our heads. It can make us aggressive and violent. We can start hallucinating and end up doing some serious damage to people. Call 1-8888-NO-METH today for more information on methamphetamine. That's 1-8888-NO-METH.
A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free Florida and America.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
There's a car accident in this country every 5 seconds. That's why Allstate thinks it's time for an entirely different kind of car insurance, with features like accident forgiveness and a safe driving bonus. It's called Your Choice Auto, and it's only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
You deserve better. Sign up for Your Choice Auto from Allstate. Call the McDonald Agency today at 622-2333.
Features are optional and subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Insurance, Northbrook, Illinois.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. And remember, the phone line is open if you want to call. The number is 622-9622. I see some people looking at online, Carol Ann. So if you're out of the area, the area code is necessary. It's 352. So the full number, 352-622-9622. Look at that little spider hanging off my microphone.
Look at there.
See it?
Yep.
Isn't that amazing?
Spiders are neat.
I mean, isn't it amazing that they can make
Their webbing,
it just keeps coming out of them.
Especially when you sit there and pretend that they're a yo-yo. They don't come back up.
Have you seen this tool for grabbing a spider and capturing it alive?
The little
little
like a little thing.
Yes,
yeah.
It captures a spider alive, and then you put it out in the yard.
Yeah, I couldn't capture him. I think spiders are really pretty cool, but don't get too close. Yeah, and to grab them, no.
But here's my thought when I'm watching this.
I saw a great big one in my bathroom last night.
I had a huge one.
Yeah. This was like dinner plate size. And I went, oh, hi, go away.
But when you watch the commercial, it works every single time, and it works perfectly.
Right.
I can imagine if you go for the spider, and
he suddenly jumps
onto your tool and up your
runs up your arm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We see the big cardiac exercise going on for the day. No, spiders stay. I'll play with I like the little jumping spiders, but they're just kind of cute. They're not spiders. Just as something fun, grabbed the almanac here and looked up, because we're talking about November. Looked up Florida's forecast by the Farmer's Almanac, and this is the Southern edition. And of course, they only give us North Florida and South Florida. They don't give us Central Florida, so we have to just sort of split the difference, is my thought on that. They're saying that our average temperature is going to be about 69 degrees, which is average, apparently, for November, 69. Precipitation is 2.5 inches, which is an inch above average in the north, but an inch below in the south. So for November, that we're supposed to have some thunderstorms the first part of the month, and sunny and cooler. The second week, sunny and warm. Third week, isolated showers and cool. And the end of the month would be scattered thunderstorms turning warm, which November, we have a tendency that, right around Thanksgiving, we'll get that cold spell. That Thanksgiving morning, you wake up and it's like 45 degrees out and everybody's freezing and going, well, there goes setting the table up outside on the patio for Thanksgiving dinner. We'll be inside. But come 11 o'clock in the morning, you go, you know what, let's get the picnic table back out. It's nice enough outside. We can do this outside and enjoy our wonderful November weather that we have.
Regarding the cold weather and everything, it says the first cold mornings of the season visited southern Wisconsin last week, with the morning low temperatures dipping 34 and 33 degrees Thursday and Friday mornings of last week. Wow.
That's too cold for me. That's why I'm here. That's why I'll live in sunny Florida. We were talking last night because somebody, again, like I said, a coworker was saying, you just make me hot when you wear that. And there's another fellow there that my department manager, who he too wears long sleeve, but and some of them are the SPF or just actually long, covering your skin from the sun. Actually, one can protect your skin, but it can actually be cooler. It can, because it
makes
absorbs
sense
the moisture, it absorbs the sweat, and when the breezes touch you, you're cooled down. But mine are, moreover, it does help keep me warm, and but they're not such a hot shirt. Even this shirt I'm wearing right now is SPF 30.
I never saw an SPF on a shirt before.
Yeah, you got to go almost to like the sporting.
But I don't know, all shirts. No, okay, take that back. Some shirts let light through, don't they?
Yeah, the weave in them has to be a certain kind of weave to actually.
So, is there a chemical that?
I don't think so.
How do they measure it though?
Yeah, probably of how much light, how much of the UV gets through. I'm not sure, but I haven't.
So we had a.
When I wore them, my husband and I both wore them one year camping, and we spent the week pretty much in the water outside, and I kept that shirt on, and I did not use additional sunscreen on, like my back and things, and I did not get sunburn.
Do you know, I think it was last Wednesday, Robin and I had a gig in Daytona at the school. And then after the gig, we went down to the beach just to see the beach.
Right.
And then, of course, we saw all the damage from Hurricane Matthew.
Right.
Which there was building damage, but there was also beach erosion damage.
Serious beach erosion.
Okay, now here's the thing I noticed about the beach erosion. It looked to me like it basically just set it back to what it was. Because I think over time, the sand just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, and those steps are not as necessary anymore to get up onto that boardwalk.
Well, because the dunes would have been further back.
Right. So they keep blowing up there, and I think the storm actually kind of washed away what had built up over all these years.
Yeah,
some
of it does, but I mean, because a lot of that sand too also went up onto those boardwalks and on the roads and things like that, where they had to bulldoze it back down to the beach, but it also washed a lot of it back out.
You could see it.
You
could see little 6-foot cliffs and things like that where the sand had been built up, and now it was washed away.
Right,
so.
But if you think if we as humans had not built these boardwalks and these seawalls and hotel poolsides and things like that, those dunes would be much larger and would collect that sand, protecting what was behind them.
Yeah, probably.
That's where a lot of it goes on. And it's interesting and I don't know if they only did this in this one area because of certain way that the tide came through, but up near the Panhandle when we were going up, there's trying to remember which road we were on, if we had turned off of 98 yet, but they have this one section, it's not a real long section, maybe 100 yards long, that's got this huge granite boulder wall from the bay to the road, and it's just a massive, but it's only there.
Is it natural?
No, that's man-made.
Oh,
the big
okay.
But I mean, the rest of it, then you get past that, and it's just whatever. So I'm not sure if there was just some serious damage occurred there, and it occurs there often, or maybe road. So they made that, and that was done years ago.
Okay, so here's the question I actually have on the dunes. There are signs that not to go there. You're not supposed to go there.
Right.
Okay. To protect the
stay off the dunes,
the plant life that's up there.
Right.
What is it about that plant life that makes it so fragile? Why can't we walk up there?
Because one, the sands will crush in those. Well, you see that they're not covered in plant life. Usually, it's very sparse.
Right.
It is hard for them to take root, and if it crushes it down, crushes that sand down. By walking on it, or one person walking on it doesn't do much damage, but when one person does it, we all know that you need to multiply that probably 1,000-fold. That would that's where the damage occurs. You take a walk through the woods. I mean, you can find animal trail. And it's because one walked through it and broke the brush up, and then the next one goes through, and it keeps the brush off of that and a compact soil underneath it, where just a foot off of there you have brambles and briars, same kind of thing. That more, staying off of it helps to preserve the plant material that's trying to grow there, which tries to hold those dunes in place. Their root zones are very fine, but if you get trotting through there, you're overly burying seed that may be planting itself, like the sea oats would drop seed when they're ripe into those areas. You go walking through there, and you've suddenly taken it from being on the surface or just below to maybe a foot down underneath, where it can't germinate properly and come up. So that's why
for somebody who just came from the dentist, you don't seem like you were at the dentist. You seem perfectly like your mouth.
There was no numbness.
Swollen.
Nothing had to be.
Nothing
had to be shot full of Novocaine.
You just had a ratchet in your mouth.
Right. They took the little screw out of the one part, and they put the tooth in and ratcheted it down, and
that's awesome.
And adjusted the bite and filled in the top where the screw.
Do they give you any warnings, like don't eat?
No, everything's good.
Something?
I can eat whatever I want.
Wow.
Yep.
It's amazing.
So,
is it actually bolted into your bone?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just keep your bones healthy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my gosh.
There's a titanium sleeve in
By
there.
the way, in the next 15 minutes or so, we'll give away some tickets for the Timberline Farm Corn Maze Festival, happening right now.
Yeah, runs through the end of the month.
All this month. All right, we'll be right back with Carol Ann.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Coastal flood advisories remain in effect into the evening at the beaches. Watch for rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Tuesday will start with a morning shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84 to 88. And Tuesday night will be partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 60s, inland 72 along the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson with Verizon. Do you have teenage drivers or elderly parents that drive? I have what you need. It's the new Hum device by Verizon. Plugs directly into your car and sends alerts to your cell phone on the location, speed, and driving habits. And you set boundary alerts. You can call and speak live with an ASC certified mechanic. And if you have an accident and can't respond, Hum will automatically send for help. All this and more for just $10 a month. And if you're in Marion County, I'll even deliver and set it up for free. Call me 352-528-0020.
Howdy, folks. For over 4 decades, we at Dairy Queen have been proud to serve our customers with the finest and freshest cook-to-order, quick-service comfort foods in the world. For instance, our new Philly steak and cheese sandwiches with grilled peppers and onions on an artisan focaccia bread bun. So steaming hot and yummy, you won't believe it. We also added seasoned potato skins filled with queso cheese and bacon. Wow, they're tasty. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
FlySanford.com, Orlando Sanford International Airport. We are SFB. Simpler, faster, better.
Visiting friends and family or just looking for some fun? Book your vacation now to one of their nonstop destinations, including Amsterdam, Brussels, Mexico City, San Juan, as well as over 70 domestic destinations, including New Orleans.
For enjoyable travel, come to Orlando Sanford International Airport. We are SFB. Simpler, faster, better. Before you fly, FlySanford.com.
We all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine that are available to us. Monday at 9 a.m., Bern Paraiso will be our roving medical reporter to tell us about Seven Hill Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We'll discuss screening, techniques, and more. So tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m.
Are you a list maker? Got your day planner laid out to structure your day? Well, here's something to add to your list. Make time for something really important. Visit Highland Memorial Park, because how you prepare for that moment is so important. Why Highland? Sure, it's a beautiful place, but aside from the beauty and the quiet reflection, practical people will appreciate the many options. Take a tour and make some serious plans. The Highland staff will confidentially show you all options and payment plans. Call today, 369-1020. Highland Memorial Park. Peace and reflection for your family.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock, and Carol Ann Baldwin is here. And if you have a question about your lawn, your garden, anything that Carol Ann can help you with, give us a call, 622-9622. I'm trying to get something on my phone here. I want to show you a picture I took out here next to the coffee machine. I'll tell you what it is before we get there. It was a salamander.
Oh, okay.
A large, rather large salamander, and it was kind of like light in color. There it is.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
See, and that was on the wall out there by the coffee machine.
That's fun.
Yeah, but not. He didn't look at all like the anole lizards.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have a few different varieties. You know, like you say, the salamander. We have the skinks. We have the little anoles. The little
it looks almost translucent. It looks like almost like light would go through it if it was up against the window or something. Oh, cool. But anyway, I want to show you that because I want to give away these tickets.
Right. Okay.
All right, and here's how I'm going to give them away.
Okay.
This has got to do with that. The Timberline Farm Corn Maze Festival is happening right now every Friday and Saturday and Sunday, which we don't have very many of them left in this month.
Nope.
Through the end of the month. And this is an $8 ticket, so I've got 4 of them. This is a $32 prize.
So it's a family 4-pack.
Yeah, there you go. And if you actually pay the $8, the money would go to help St. Teresa's Soup Kitchen and the Marion County Juvenile Detention Center.
Right.
So they give them to us so we can promote it and give them away for free so that other people who don't win them perhaps will say, oh, man, that's only
you get everybody else going,
It's only $8. Yeah, I'll go. I'll pay my $8.
Right.
But anyway, right now, $32, 4 tickets. Right? Am I doing my math right?
Yep.
4 times 8. So just call me and tell me your favorite animal that you might see in a corn maze. So what is the Timberline Farm Corn Maze Festival in Bellevue?
It's kind of like an autumn harvest festival kind of thing.
At 3200 Southeast 115th Street. It's every Friday from 4 to 8, Saturday 10 till 8, Sunday from noon till 8.
There you go.
So have you gone to this?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever been in a corn maze?
Not in a corn maze, no. But I've heard of some people who've, not here, that actually got kind of lost in one. So I don't know how tough theirs is.
Oh, really?
But yeah, they can be, because corn can be, corn is quite tall, so you can't see over it.
But you
and
can't walk
planted
through it. Like if you panic, can you?
Probably not. I mean, not really, because you don't know which way you would be going. Are you going towards the exit, or are you just going?
All right, so they're up for grabs. I don't know. You don't have to answer any questions. Just if you call in and say, "Hey,
if you want tickets to that,
I want
to take the kids or the grandkids."
Yeah.
Go for it.
And we'll throw in a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines, too. Since
there you go.
Otherwise, we're not going to have any time to talk about anything.
That's right. And I will just go through, because we're here at the end of October already, and I'm not sure if it was last week on the show or if I was at work or where somebody had asked something about their Christmas cactus. And and this is the time of year that if you want your Christmas cactus and your poinsettias to color up and to bloom for the holiday season, those Christmas cactus need to be in a room or in an area where when it's dark out at sunsets like 7:15 now or something like that. Sunrise isn't until like 7:15. It's late now. It needs to be dark that whole time, or pretty darn close to it, because otherwise it's not going to realize that the days are short, and that's what encourages those to bloom. And same thing with your poinsettias, is that if you have them growing outside, that you need that porch light off, or if they're outside where there's a window where you have a light on in that room often, you need to have something that's keeping that light off of them.
So how do you do it at Lowe's? I mean, all the poinsettias.
Ours come from already.
Oh, okay.
Already set up for that. It's just once you get them home, and at that point they're fine. It just takes a few weeks of that darkness at nighttime is what they're after. They're day length sensitive in order to color up properly. If you have a poinsettia in the house, you can take and set the thing in the closet for a few days, or in a dark room. Just move it into a dark room that's what they always used to do.
So it never gets daylight then?
Well, but that's okay. It's enough to trick it. It's like when we have a dormancy, for certain plants need certain amount of cold weather in order for them to have a dormancy to come into bloom in the springtime. You need a certain amount of hours to do that. This is the same or similar kind of thing, except we're going for day length versus temperatures too much. I think your Christmas cactus do prefer too the little bit of the cooler temperatures that we're getting. Also less water, a little bit less water. Knock off the fertilization. They don't need it now, and if they set buds and you're still fertilizing, they're going to try to grow and they will push those buds right on off. You'll see your buds come on, they'll form, and suddenly you're dropping buds, and that's because it's trying to grow leaf material, not flowers. So leave the fertilizer in its jug. It's winter, it's fall time, they're not feeding near as much. After blooming, if you wanted to give them just a little bit, after that, but then you're talking December anyhow. Right. So we'll address that later. We'll come up with that one later.
Can you take the pumpkin seeds from your jack-o'-lantern and plant them?
Or
do something with them?
I would toast them and make pumpkin seeds. You cut open your pumpkin.
How do you do that?
Cut open your pumpkin and get all your pumpkin seeds out. Separate them from all the goo, all the pumpkin guts. Wash them off good. You can just then spread them out, dry them off, spread them out on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven. I don't know what it is. I always have to look up the temperatures and the time. And just toast them plain, or you could salt them. I usually, if I'm going to salt them, I soak them in some real strong salt water, almost like a brine.
Oh, really?
For a little bit, and then drain them and put them out so that salt sticks to them.
Salt? I love salt. Salt has a bad name.
Salt gets, that's a moderation.
Don't use salt.
Don't use salt. Moderation is always the best thing. But you can toast your pumpkin seeds up, and if want your pumpkin to last, because we are warmer, I'd probably wait till, hopefully you didn't carve it already. Wait till it gets closer. I know the kids like to enjoy it longer. We all do. But there's supposed to be ways of doing, if you cut the pumpkin up and get it all carved, is to actually rinse it in a bleach water. That stops those bacteriums from beginning the decay process.
And don't forget, when you get Jack-o'-lantern, don't forget to get his little sister Heloise-o'-lantern.
There you go.
Remember Heloise?
Yeah, that was the little one.
The little one.
Yeah. the little boo, or you get the, and you can get your gourds and other things like that right now too, in the grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah, I had a little one year. I never cut it open, and I swear it stayed good for a whole year.
They will. They can.
Or at least it
so
looked
long
good.
as you don't. So long as you don't get that skin pierced.
Yeah.
As I say, if you put off carving it until maybe not last minute, because you do want to enjoy it some, but it might be this weekend. Carving your pumpkin, and then it should last through Halloween. And just watch out. Put
do you
it
do
on
that?
something.
Are you a good pumpkin carver?
I'm not anything fancy, but I enjoy carving.
Some people do. Some people are amazing.
Some people, people get out the Dremel tools and do all the fancy
The what
stuff.
tool?
Dremel. Those small, crafty power drill things.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm not real fancy. I'm not real artsy.
Yeah.
So
And
I carve your basic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin.
And some of them go just a little bit under the surface and get that, and make like
just get the
teeth,
thin,
like they can carve teeth out of the under because it's a little lighter in color.
Right. Taking the pulp off, or even just removing more of the pulp out so that more light shines through in different areas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen that.
A little bit of, or sometimes, like you say, taking off that outer part.
Mm-hmm.
But, look it up online. I'm sure somebody's got the recipes. There's probably more than one recipe on how to preserve your pumpkin a little longer. And like I said, I think it's, possibly a 10% bleach solution. Stick it in a bucket, 5 gallons of water,
solution.
a couple ounces of bleach, swoosh it up and down in there a little bit, dry it, let it dry.
You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. I'm glad you're talking about pumpkins because Druid Hills Pumpkin Patch got their pumpkins in this last week and have another load coming in this week.
Oh, wonderful.
And they have all kinds of gorgeous pumpkins. And I know that Larry and Robin and the Giant did a song about the pumpkin patch one time.
Yeah.
So maybe sometime in the next week or so, maybe you can dig that out of the archives and play it for us.
I think we'll do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we drove past the church and we saw the pumpkin patch, and I just love it because it's an Ocala tradition.
I don't know how many years it's been going on. Should have asked, but it is. It's an Ocala tradition, and I believe their proceeds benefit something. We'll have to find that out.
I think Robin has a PSA in here about that.
Could be, but that's good way. Another nice location to get your pumpkin for your jack-o'-lantern and.
Oh, and by the way, I'm looking through here, and I was just reminded of something. Speaking about teeth, and I know you are a supporter of veterans things.
Yes.
On November 11th, Veterans Day, there is free dentistry for veterans at the Oak Ridge Dental Care. Smiles at the Heathbrook is what it's called.
I think I heard the commercial this morning.
Yeah, so the best thing I can tell you is with the website freedentistryday.org.
There you go.
This is 8 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. Free dentistry for veterans.
Nice.
Right here in Ocala. Not bad, huh?
No. Step up and take care of them.
Let me keep looking at what I was looking for. What was I looking for?
But if anybody's
Druid
after
Hills.
the Bob Wines gift certificate and 4 tickets to the Timberland Farm Corn Maze Festival. Let me get all that out in one sentence. Give us a call so we can give you some tickets.
So it's the 21st annual pumpkin patch at Druid Hills.
21st. I mean, that's an Ocala tradition. Once you get past 5 or 6 years, that becomes a tradition, I think. Or at least should be thought of as such.
Yeah. Any candy in your any candy that you'll be eating now that you got your new tooth that you couldn't have eaten before? Like what is that Skor bar? SCOR?
No, I don't.
SKOR?
Yeah, I've never
That's
had
a hard
one of
candy.
those. Yeah,
a hard
never
chocolate.
Had one of those.
Yeah.
But no, not really. I just eat whatever I want. But that's what she told me. I can eat what I want.
Wait a minute. That's not your song. This is your song.
There's the song.
All right, another show in the can. Thank you, Carol Ann.
Thank you, Larry. Everybody have a great week.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Hillary Clinton supporters say there's no evidence she was involved, but Donald Trump, who's been fighting allegations of sexual misconduct, is calling it collusion. Documents showing a senior State Department official tried to get the FBI to help reduce the classification of an email from Clinton's private server.
State Department spokesman John Kirby told Fox News there was no quid pro quo.
It's a summary of an interview.